I see today there are companies who are even running on physical servers in their offices and everything, and we don't want something like this to happen anywhere.
And we thought that, okay, here is where AI can show its whole power. You can actually connect. So they already have some OCR connected, but OCR is by the way. So I think QR code is again another tech which is quite underestimated, because there are so many applications. It's magical. QR code is magical. There's so many applications of QR code that nobody is even thinking. Hi guys, this is Ritesh Kedar, and we have
Himanshu Kaushik.
And we are on the Human AI podcast. In this podcast, we are going to discuss about use cases or success stories or projects that we have done with a bit of detail, in a bit of detail, so that it can help you explore, help you tingle your own curious thoughts, help you explore tech, and also solve your own business problems. So that is what today's podcast target is. And Himanshu is going to help probably ask me a couple of questions, and then I'm going to ponder, and then we are going to discuss on specific use cases. So Himanshu, on to you.
Yes, absolutely. So the idea today is to try and give you some real life examples. And as he said very rightly, we want you guys to have your creative juices flow and think about how something like this could actually be applicable in your business. So I think let's start talking about a few different projects that we have done in the recent times.
Yeah.
I think a good one to start with would be something that you feel was a very moving project for us, or had we had some sort of emotional attachment towards it.
Moving as in what sense moving?
Moving, as I said, it's so something that we feel we were emotionally attached to. Is what I mean. We had a passion towards doing the project as well. And also, we were very happy with the output, or probably something that happened that we didn't think about when we actually started off the project. But it again happened for the good sort of thing. So what do you think?
Okay, so I get one project in my mind. This was about a company in insurance domain.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. In this company, so this owner of the company, it was a father-son duo. So the son came to us, and he wanted to do digitized SOPs that he needed in his company. And initially we thought that, okay, fine, it's just a digital transformation projects. We are going to get some SOPs, some Excel sheets, and a bit of, even documentation. And then we are going to create probably a good platform for them, for their staff to work on. Eventually I realized that this project took a lot of emotional quotient out of us, because it was initial days in which we were doing this project. And this was one of the projects wherein the owner was continuously very tightly in touch with us regarding how he wants the project. And we delivered the project. When we went, after delivering the project, after all the testing and UAT and production is done, when me and my team went to the office after a month, and we saw their team using the project, we saw all the devices that they were using were having screens that we built in our office, and everybody using it. And then when I asked them, okay, how much percentage of work has been gone onto the digital platform, it was close to 90-95%, which I felt very touching. The real emotional question came into picture when something really bad happened. After I think 2 years or so, the premises in which this company was, the whole premises got burnt, and the whole office was turned down into ashes within no time. The laptops were burned down. The whole infrastructure was like completely gone. And when I heard the news, I was in complete shock. I called him and told him like, bro, do you need any help? Uh, so he said, no worries. All of our systems are already gone digital, as we did it, and they were using 100% of the systems on digital. They were on cloud. Everything was backed up. There was zero downtime to their business. He just called up a laptop guy, the laptop servicing guys. He got some laptops on rent, and the day the office was burned, the same day their team was working through through their home. All of the infrastructure was gone online, and we as a team was highly impacted by what kind of work we have done. We have actually done something in life. It's not just a project. It was kind of a very moving, as you asked me, very moving project that we built for them. And I was very thankful to them that they gave us the opportunity to build something like of this sort, and which was one of the confidence striking uh, case study that I personally went through. And I think we all are very proud of that project. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, that was one. As you very rightly said, when the incident happened, and because of being online completely and using the systems to the fullest, it was so easy for them to come back up. Obviously, your office burning down is never a good thing, but at least the business could keep running. So yeah, you very rightly said. Actually, that's a very very good example for the question I was trying to ask. And yeah, and so everyone now can see that sometimes, even in the worst scenarios, because of just being digital, your workforce would not be impacted, or your business does not get impacted, because you can just be up and running from anywhere. And that's actually a very good safety net to have, because even I see today there are companies who are even running on physical servers in their offices and everything. And we don't want something like this to happen anywhere, but something like this does happen, and the servers get burned down. Even after actually having systems, they lose out on their data, lose out on their systems and everything. So having the right sort of infrastructure is very important as well. So once you've digitized, I think having things in cloud, as you said, these guys had, it was no problem for their staff to work from home and everything. I think that's a very good point.
yeah, in fact, I would like to add a bit more on this. It's not just, so this was a very extreme case wherein the office got burned down, but there are a lot of cases wherein people do set up a non-cloud infrastructure. A lot of hard drive failures keeps on happening. Sometimes there are infestations like mice and all that. In India it happens a lot of times. The wires got cut. Sometimes a lot of cyber attacks do happen. You lose everything. I mean, cyber attacks also happens on the cloud servers. Physically, generally it is more or less like the infrastructure is accessible to people, so there are a lot of risks involved in that way. So I would always prefer to go on a cloud premises as much as you can, if that is an option in your budget.
Absolutely, because I always think about it. Leave what you can leave to the experts, right? There are big companies out there. We can take so many names who have such great data centers. Why not use them rather than spending money on building a server setup in your own office, for example, and then holding all those risks that you mentioned. So absolutely. Okay, cool. I think that was a very, very good point and very nicely answered the question I was trying to ask. The next thing I would actually like to get into is, there are so many projects we are doing currently. What do you still think, from a tech perspective, that is very underrated? And why is it underrated even?
Okay. So I think talking about underrated tech, I feel application of AI, not the AI itself, application of AI is very underrated. Uh, I think AI can be used to solve a lot of bigger problems, but majorly the tech is being used to solve all the tiny things in life. I mean, people are just making different faces. People are trying to generate random images. People are trying to generate just casual text or maybe an email draft out of it. But I feel the application of AI is uh, much more wider than what we are using right now. I'll give you an example for this. One of our client, they were using it's a KPO company, KPO BPO company, and they were using a normal document processing system wherein they get a complicated document. It's a very tech oriented, very complicated PDF that they receive from one department. And what they do is their team scans the PDF, and in the PDF there are all scanned photographs of different documents, invoices and everything. And these invoices are then seen by people, studied by people, one or two people. And what they do is, after analyzing the information in those scanned images or invoices, they type it into the Excel sheets by carefully analyzing it, by giving some numbers and all that, and then they send it for whatever approval for further processing. Now, when we actually saw the turnaround time in this case, it was almost 40 minutes to 1 hour. So 40 minutes to 1 hour it is taking for the person to analyze the PDF and type it into an Excel sheet. Excel sheet might have probably 20-25 columns. And we thought that, okay, here is where AI can show its whole power. You can actually connect. So they already have some OCR connected, but OCR is, by the way, for viewers, it's optical character recognition, which means if it is an image format, it just generally scans it and converts it into a textual format by recognizing the characters. So they already had some OCR in place, and through the OCR, they were able to copy paste certain type of text, but still the time taken was 40 minutes because you have to again make the spreadsheet, Excel sheet. So what we are doing there is we have just put in a small AI middleware which actually connects with the OCR, scans the PDF, analyzes the PDF, all the 4, 5, 10 pages, automatically makes sense of what is written. It's very technical document, and then converts it into the Excel sheet and sends it to the further department with a very high accuracy than humans. And this is being done in 20 to 30 seconds. Right? So people are not using AI for all these stuff, although they can. So I feel the application of AI in today's world is one thing wherein people should focus on, be it any AI application, be it a conversation related AI application, or be it an image processing related AI application or a video processing. I think we should try to think a bit more creatively to solve our real world business problems using AI, and not just use AI for just email drafting. So that is probably my view.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good point. And obviously I know about this project, I know the story, and the impact created here was huge. Your processing time going from 45 minutes down to 30 seconds is massive, right? Yeah. But as you said, people are not thinking about applications of AI. And this is just my thought, and you would probably want to add on it. Do you think it's because people are not thinking that they can actually build things using AI? They are only limiting themselves to things that are out there, for example, ChatGPT, because there are so many other AI apps that have come out as well. There's AI, and even if we talk about the big ones, for example, Midjourney. Okay, they know Midjourney is generating images. You give it a prompt and it generates image. ChatGPT, you ask it anything, it gives you an answer. There's Copy AI that uses AI to write copy based on whatever you tell them. These are the examples, right? Do you think that people are limiting themselves because, or not people, but businesses are not thinking about AI applications because they're limited to just thinking about, okay, these things are out there, and they're only limited on thinking how to use them rather than thinking that they can actually build something as well?
Um, my view is yes, people do have that bubble in which they are thinking. They have no idea about what all things are possible in the real world, but that's wherein the education comes into the picture. I think they'll have to go out and ask people to at least study their business processes, people like us, for example, to study their business processes and then suggest them what all things can be improved. I mean, we do a lot of audits just for free. Absolutely. Right? So why not just use somebody else's brain and ask them if something can be improved? Because people like us, or in general any person who is interested in tech, they will be able to analyze any business process with a very different mindset. So that is where I think, yes, I do feel people do live in bubble. In fact, I have seen a lot of people who are technically so sound, yet they have not clicked with an idea to digitize something, or maybe become a very creative person into probably pioneering a new process in their business, which substantially increases their performance. I think another a more reason is that most of the businesses, or the people who are working on the businesses, or the people who are even at a C level, they are working in the business and not on the business. They are so much in micromanaging things and nitpicking small stuff, that they actually lose the track of seeing the business from a very third person perspective or outside perspective. Because once you start seeing things from the outside perspective, then you understand, oh, here all we can apply tech, here all we can invest in tech, here all we can put AI into picture. So I think these are the two major reasons why people are just in their bubble and not exploring all these options.
Right, right. So would it be right to say that it would be a good idea for businesses to get a third party, say audit, or a third party expert to come in and actually analyze their business? So that's a good outtake from this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And secondly, I also feel that it's probably time now to start thinking about AI applications. And when we say applications, again, it's how we can use AI for something, and not limit yourselves to just things that are already available. Because there are tech companies out there who are willing to actually build AI tech right now. Like even us, we want to build more in AI. So it's probably good time for businesses to think how, or not even think, but just come to us, right? Come to people like us, not us, but people like us even, and see what can be done, what can we build using AI to make things better, create efficiencies, right? And everything. So yeah, I think that's a very good point. Cool. If we moving ahead, now we talked about a project that kind of moved us a lot. We've talked about tech that is we feel underrated, and doesn't seem like AI should be underrated, but once you actually spoke about it the way you did, I feel that absolutely is. Now if we want to talk about, again, we are talking about different businesses and everything, what industry or what sort of businesses currently you feel have a huge potential for digital transformation?
So I think if I think about Indian market scenario, and I think even in a lot of other countries, I feel uh, banking, and specifically cooperative banks, is the exact domain that right now needs a huge digital transformation. The reason being, we have all those top 10-15 banks who have all the top talent of the world, and they have a good team, they have all good money, etc., and they have built their own tech. You can do a lot of things, digital KYCs, you can do check your portfolio, check your banking needs, everything online. So all these softwares are already created by all these big giants. But then there is this market which is of a cooperative banks and other small medium scale banks. They do have money, enough money to invest in something to go digital for next 5 to 7 years, but the mindset is not yet there. They still are taking the forms on paper, getting customers signed up on paper. They are still doing the KYCs physical. Yeah. So all these banks, cooperative banks, do have their money. Not that much of money, but they do have smaller budgets. That much of budget is enough to go digital. They can invest in all these small areas of customer acquisition, customer marketing. They can fasten the process of even signing up for a new bank account from the customer or opening up a fixed deposit account. All these KYC APIs, Aadhaar APIs are available. It's very easy to create a digital outlet for them. It's, why won't you want a customer to come onto your bank and just a QR code wherein he scans it, the link opens up, and therein he can just click photographs of his Aadhaar card, PAN card, and just filling a couple of more detail, he just signs up onto his portal. Everybody has a smartphone now, so it's very available, very easy thing for people to actually in banking sector especially to go digital. So this is a domain that I feel is kind of heavily needs digital transformation. I mean, there are other domains also, but there I feel going digital is going to be slightly difficult. But like agriculture, for example, I mean, wahan pe to it's very difficult to go digital. But soon that time will also come. But for now, I feel the banking in India needs a big overhaul. We have already gone quite ahead. We have got all these UPIs. Now we have e-rupee also, which has come. So all these cooperative banks are getting left behind. The new generation needs digital presence. If you are not digital, you're not going to be attracting these new people. So this is one I feel that should go digital.
And do you think, and correct me if I'm wrong, so the cooperative banks that we are talking about here, they could take a step-by-step approach, right? They don't need to do a big bang approach to just digitize the whole bank. They can, as you said, they can take a step-by-step approach, start with one process, go to the next one, see how the efficiencies are increasing, how things have changed after they digitized, say the first step, even opening up a bank account. If that is digitized, the next one could be all getting rid of all those passbooks and everything, because I see
Yes.
there are still banks where people go and stand with their passbooks to actually get them updated, and I feel that is so 1980s and
Yeah.
should not exist in my opinion. But again, but no, absolutely, I think that's a very good point. And so you mentioned, and obviously we working as a tech company always come across this, which is a budget problem, right? And you said that, yeah, definitely cooperative banks have a certain amount of money as well. I'm sure they don't have money like the bigger banks, but they have some money, and we know. How should they approach or think about what is possible in a certain, how should they like get past this budget hurdle of thinking that, oh yeah, we don't have that amount of money, so we cannot do it at all? How do they get to the next step? How do they get past it?
I think the first and foremost thing that they should do is, which is free of cost, is get audited by some consultant.
Yes.
Okay. You just approach a company. You just need to Google a company with a best stars who or good reviews. You just need to go online and just check and call them up and tell them to, analyze our banking structure and tell us what all things can you do to improve us. It's free of cost. Okay. Then once the company has analyzed it, the consultant has analyzed their processes, they will suggest you, okay, these all things needs to be done. Then you decide onto the budgets. So you can also ask the consultant to break everything down. So you can apply the, work breakdown structure on it. You tell them, okay, give me budgets of each specific functional aspect of the transformation that you are expecting. So he'll give, okay, customer acquisition, XYZ time and money, customer online tracking, account tracking and all XYZ, such kind of stuff they can, implement. They can get the analysis done on, and then they decide, okay, fine, these two things seems to be a kind of burning for us. So let's just go with them. and rest we will eventually do it. So I think going and discovering people who can do it is the first step. Rest comes later. So people are not even going one step ahead. And second reason is also cooperative banks are not that much entrepreneurial. Bank. What do you hear when you what do you imagine when you hear a bank? A bank is, the one picture comes into your brain is, oh, you went to the counter, I want to open a bank account. He will send you to another counter. Then he will say, okay, I'm on lunch. You come after 2 p.m. And that's how you imagine a bank.
Yes.
Right? So I think the mindset of being entrepreneurial is very much needed when it comes to a bank. All of the employees who are working in the bank has to work like a startup, has to think like a startup, has to think the customer as probably next to God, and then serve the customer, become very customer centric. That's how they will start thinking about going digital. Otherwise, what's the need?
Right.
So this is my view on this.
Absolutely. And I think I really feel that banks should go and do these free audits. And I would like to very honestly mention, कुछ भी free के लिए नहीं मिलता है. We all know that. Nothing is free, right? People would think that, oh, free audit, they'll do the free audit because then they want to get business out of us. I'll actually give you something, which is tech companies like us want to do a free audit because even if you don't give us the business, we actually got the opportunity to understand your business and we can start thinking about a lot of different tech applications. So it is, हमें भी कुछ free में मिल रहा है उससे.
Correct.
So it's not, we are not doing it because we'll do it for free and then just take a lot of money from you. Yes, if we do the project, there's going to be budgets for that, but that free audit can be done and we get something out of it as well. So we do it with a lot of interest for us as well and they get something out of it as well. Right. So I think people need to start thinking about these free audits are not like for a scam to just get the project, right? It is actually good big tech companies want to do it because they get to learn a lot of stuff and they can have a lot of outtakes from it that they can think on retrospectively and have newer applications, productize things and everything in their businesses. So that's why they do it. Cool. Awesome. I think that was a very good conversation because I didn't even think about banks or cooperative banks when I was asking that question. So that was very, very nice. Cool. I think next, I'm curious about this thing because obviously you are the tech guy, you're the director of technology. You can think about things like this. I don't go into that depth, but I have this feeling because I think since like all these UPIs have come out or people have started using all these apps to pay and it's so good that I've recently paid a auto rickshaw guy using UPI and for me it's still new because I was not here for so long and when this whole UPI shift was happening I wasn't seeing it. But one thing that is making me curious is QR codes, right? Because we are seeing so many QR codes around us now. Abhi, I feel there is a thing where people look at a QR code and are currently straight away attaching it to UPI because I think that's become a thing. QR code have just, I know I am in the tech industry as well, so I know how long QR codes have existed and everything. But even I am curious what could be even like better technical applications of that tech or of that piece of tech that's available out there. What can we do with it? What's your thought on this?
So I think QR code is again another tech which is quite underestimated because there are so many applications. It's magical. QR code is magical. There's so many applications of QR code that nobody is even thinking. Right from automating certain tasks to tracking certain things to even marketing. QR code has huge application. I'll give you a couple of examples. Okay. Imagine that you are a business owner and you are a probably small business owner or a manufacturer of any home appliance. Let's take an example of probably a refrigerator. Okay. Refrigerator is something wherein, or AC or microwave oven. So it gets, generally you need a repair of it in every 6, 7, 8 months because something or other keeps on happening. And what is the first thing that happens when an AC or a refrigerator or an oven gets damaged. So the consumer will start searching for the number of the repairing guy. So there are two to three options that he'll do. He'll first of all directly search for his contact in his phone if he has saved it, or he will go and search for the warranty card, physical warranty card, if they have saved it again, or he will go on internet and search for refrigerator repair around me, enter, and whoever is the highest rated, he'll directly call. Now the question is, the one, whatever XYZ corporation who has installed the refrigerator, they have lost the business, right? Because the customer has already taken the number or called somebody who has actually not installed it. He is probably near to him and highly rated, so he have called him. What if there is a big QR code stuck onto the AC or refrigerator or microwave oven, and it's written that scan to service, or scan for repair, or scan to complain, and the customer uses his phone, scans it, it opens up a web browser or whatever, a link, and in that link it's clearly written, hi Himanshu Kaushik, you have just scanned your bedroom AC or microwave oven 2, and this is the configuration, your warranty is in this, you service, your logo and everything is there, and then call, raise a complaint, etc. options are available there. The customer will definitely call that guy instead of doing all this searching of on internet and all that. More than that, these manufacturers or service guys can develop a backend system also, wherein if somebody has scanned the QR code, they directly just pop up notification and see that, okay, this customer has scanned the QR code. They can directly call that customer. Imagine somebody has a problem with their refrigerator cooling. They have just scanned the QR code with an intention to complain, but they, before clicking on the complaint button, they suddenly get call from the refrigeration company. Hello sir, you just scanned the QR code from our refrigerator. Do you have any problem? Imagine the impact that they are making on the customer. Imagine the customer experience that will be, mind blowing. So it is one example wherein the QR code can be used. So I think the second example wherein QR code can be used is marketing. By marketing mein na, if you combine QR code with the Instagram filter, it's magical. Imagine, a lot of people have done it, okay, by the way. Imagine you have a big hoarding right in front of a big, market, wherein a big QR code is placed. And if you just put your phone camera in front of the QR code, Instagram links opens with the filter, and suddenly in the filter you see things in AR, wherein the brand, or maybe a earphone brand, or any mobile brand or something, when you're showing all the mobile phone usage, animations, etc. in that QR code itself through the Instagram filter. Imagine the QR code printed on a newspaper. You put mobile phone, Instagram filter opens up, uske andar you are like seeing all the animations and all that. Such a huge promotion. I mean, forget marketing. Let's move to the customer experience. Everybody knows in daily care products there is sequencing. As in, I don't know exact sequencing, but ऐसा होता है that you put toner first, cleanser first, then toner, then moisturizer. ऐसा कुछ sequencing.
You definitely know more than me.
Yeah, probably yes. So there's always a sequencing. Imagine that a company, we have a lot of daily care product companies. Imagine a company who has created a sequencing package wherein you buy 3 of them together, you get one package, one package delivered to you. It has a big QR code. You scan the QR code, it opens up the filter. In the filter, it shows how to apply 1, 2, 3, step 1, step 2, step 3, all animated. Imagine the impact that kind of tech would be bringing, and it's very simple to make. QR code है और Instagram filter है और एक 3D animation artist लगता है. So I think QR code भी बहुत मतलब is highly underrated, and I think there are a lot of applications to QR code, I feel. So I think QR code is one thing that has a lot of uses. You can use QR code in tracking also. For example, a consignment comes into for repair. You stick a QR code on it. Then that consignment is stuck. The QR code is stuck onto the consignment. It goes to, for example, a mobile repairing shop. You just have a QR code stuck on it. It just goes on to repairing the QA, then this, then that, and everything. And the customer, you won't ever miss, the tracking, as well as you'll not able to mix two things because of the QR code. So I feel QR code has a lot of power that people are not utilizing.
Yes, because I think QR code is more of a starting point to anything, right? And the ease, and also a very big part I feel is having some sort of technology stick in India takes time. But QR code is now stuck, and people know what to do, which is the biggest part.
Yeah.
Because nobody can get confused after looking at a QR code. They know what they have to do now. So I feel for businesses, it's a very, very good starting point to so many different applications. As you gave so many examples, absolutely. Like I myself have so many appliances at home, and when up until so everything's fine, happy days. But as soon as something actually breaks, that's when I don't know who to call, what to do. I do all those things, finding a warranty card and everything. So I think that's a very, very good point. And now I've also actually seen, and this is just fun stuff, but recently I was reading an article, and I saw QR codes which were actually images. So and we can actually put a thing. We can show that in the podcast. We'll make sure our video editor does that.
Yeah.
But that's fun stuff, right? It's not like QR codes don't have to be boring anymore, because there was like the examples I saw were amazing. There was a building which was actually a QR code. It doesn't really feel like a QR code, but people who understand the tech know it's a QR code. But you actually scan it, and then it does exactly the same thing. So that's some cool stuff as well. So yeah, a very, very good point, I think. Cool. I think we've talked about a lot of good stuff today. We have talked about AI applications, QR codes, and industries that can use digital transformation, and things like that. I feel there is one more that deserves a conversation, which is IoT, or applications of IoT, or again, have businesses think about IoT, because I feel, again, I think it's just very naturally become a conversation where we are talking about tech, which has so many different applications that people are not using. But like IoT, for everyone who doesn't know, is Internet of Things, and we'll get more into it. But what's your thought on that? Say if we want to talk about interesting applications with IoT.
Okay. Just to contextualize, guys, what is IoT? IoT is basically two electronic devices talking to each other through internet. Is Internet of Things. So Internet of People is what people use to communicate with each other. Internet of Things is what things use to communicate with each other. So that is IoT. Coming to the topic, I think IoT also is kind of being ignored. I think we are talking about all the underrated things, I feel. So IoT is not ignored, I feel, but it's not customized enough, I feel. So the customization of IoT is something which is needed, I feel. People are definitely using a lot of IoT devices. I mean, Alexa as home automation has become a thing now. Everybody is using some or the IoT device, and but customizing. How many people are customizing IoT to solve their business problems? Tell me. No one, right?
Yes.
There are a lot of Alexa devices which you can put in your car, by the way, wherein then you can start giving instructions to your car and then execute a lot of things. You don't need to, keep on fiddling around your phone. One of the application of IoT. I'll give you a very extreme example of IoT wherein IoT customization has been seen. So there is this company who are into steel. production, and they are so steel production requires a huge crane which picks up the steel raw material, puts it into the mold, melts it, then the mold, you have to pick up the molded things and put it somewhere else, and the whole thing takes it's done in a huge heated environment. And there are a lot of industrial air conditioners which are put onto the cabin of the guy who is onto the crane. So the crane shaft is there, the guy sits on the crane, then the industrial ACs are used to cool the cabin because the rest of the environment is pretty hot. A lot of times what happens is these air conditioners sometimes do fail. So they have all the SOS buttons and all that kept there, but the SOS button would be pushed after something is diagnosed, right? For example, if the operator thinks that, oh, something has gone off, the AC has stopped working or something like that, then he'll be pressing the SOS button. But a lot of times what happens is, say for example, the compressor has stopped working of the AC is not cooling anymore, and he is completely focused on doing his work. So a lot of times what happens is, so he's doing his work, and he has lost the track of if the AC is running or not, if the systems are running properly or not, and suddenly he is either unconscious, or he has lost his breath, or he just gets panicked, or something or such stuff happen. And we have been there, it's in news, then such kind of mishaps are happening, and it's kind of very catastrophic also. There are a lot of lives that got lost recently, which I was keeping track of. Why not an IoT device, customized IoT device which sits there, sees the compression, okay, fine, is the compressor on by analyzing the vibrations, what is the temperature, is the human presence there, not there, and how much speed the fan is running on, everything of that cabin. Just small IoT device analyzes it, sends it to the server, centralized server, wherein all the cranes are connected, and then we have an AI system which analyzes it and tries to predict if something might go wrong. And then there are red flags which will trigger automatically and will send signals to probably an email to specific people, probably call to specific people, or WhatsApp to specific people, and then they can take action before something bad happens. So it's a very small example of customizing the IoT and not like a ready-made product, because you will need a lot of customization.
Yes. So I think it again goes back to businesses thinking about this stuff from that perspective, that it's not readily available to buy and attach it to, like the crane in this example. You have to put the effort of thinking that this is a problem, we need to solve it. The solution is maybe a customized IoT device, and then we build something like that and we put it out there and the problem gets solved, right? But it's that trigger for businesses to think that, okay, we have to actually do something about this, and it has to be a customized solution because nothing's readily available. So I think that's a very big outtake from everything that we've been talking about, from say the AI applications, from IoT, from QR code. All these are different technologies, right? And these are technologies that are not too complicated as well. That nothing, all of these things, they're not that you have to spend huge amounts of money to actually build something around this. You can take baby steps, you can automate, digitize small processes, use these technologies smartly, make people's lives easier. Like the QR code was a very good example, right? Yeah. Because people know what to do after looking at a QR code. So you don't have to educate people on, okay, we are changing a process now. You have to look at this thing, and you have to put your phone in front of it and then it'll do something. None of that, because people know what to do. So I think it's more of business owners need to start thinking about these things, have those triggers, and probably get in touch with companies like ourselves and get those free audits happen, and take things from there, right? Because there's huge potential, I feel. Well, I think it's been a very, very good conversation. We've talked about so many good things today. I think there were so many good outtakes for people, even for me. Like it's very interesting sometimes to get to know these things. So, well, thank you so much, everybody. I think we have passed the 45 minutes mark, so it's been a very long one. Thank you so much for being here, and do subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe, guys.